The price of groceries and other things have reached absolutely insane levels in America. A loaf of bread is costing people almost $6 these days. And just 10 years ago, that price tag was like half, like $3. And fast food and junk food have gotten more and more expensive by the day. Like a bag of potato chips is nearly $6 these days. And a box of cereal is $10. I mean, this is supposed to be the cheapest foods that you could get. This huge rise in the cost of living and cost of groceries is really putting the hurt on Americans.
I'm super curious. How much is everybody spending in groceries each month? We're probably doing about $1,700 a month. It's nuts.
Is anybody else sick of these grocery bills? Because I just spent $80 at Trader Joe's. I still have to buy food like to eat for dinner for the week at a regular grocery store. That's going to cost me over $100. So this is out of control. Prices are ridiculous. I don't even know what I bought at Trader Joe's. Can you guys relate? Because why are prices so expensive?
I just spent $197 at the grocery store and I don't even know what I bought. I walked in for eggs, milk, and maybe a treat if I was feeling wild. I walked out with financial trauma and a receipt that looks like a CVS scroll of shame. Break it down. $6.49 for a dozen eggs that I have to handle like I'm smuggling Fabergé's. Milk? $4.29 for a jug of future regret because I know I'm going to forget it's in the fridge until it's chunky. Bread? Why is it $5.79 now? What part of this loaf is artisanal? It's white bread. It has one job. And don't get me started on produce. I grabbed 3 apples and the self-checkout told me that'll be $8.12. I didn't buy heirloom jewelry. I brought fruit. Why are bell peppers sold like they're concert tickets? Oh, sorry. The red one is premium seating. And then I made the mistake of walking down the snack aisle. One bag of chips, $4.79, and 85% of it is air. Honestly, the most affordable part of the experience. Want a frozen pizza? That'll be $9.99 for the privilege of disappointment in a circle. So yeah, $197 later, I'm home with 3 bags of groceries, a new fear of inflation, and a carton of oat milk that expires tomorrow. The only thing that was free was my sadness, and I bagged that one myself. Tag someone who needs to start a garden with me because we can't live like this.
Would you pay $60 for one steak? I know I sure wouldn't. And if you wouldn't either, go ahead and give me a follow and leave a comment. I sure do miss the good old days when it was affordable to come to Walmart. I remember those good old days. Steaks were cheap. You could fill up your gas tank for about 25 bucks and life was good. But nowadays, we got one steak for $60. If you think that's absolutely ridiculous, give me a follow and leave a comment. Me and you are the same.
I would like to know, what are y'all cooking for Thanksgiving? I'm at the store. When did yellow cornmeal, the small bag, become like $4 and something? I'm so confused. These prices, let me tell you something. Who's selling some stamps? Because the way it's going right now, I don't even know if we having dressing. Ham either. Turkey maybe, that's kind of cheap. Let me know what y'all having. And what stores got stuff on sale, because I'm so confused.
The price of groceries are absolutely leveling me. I know they must be leveling you. I'm going to go through some of the things that I buy right now and compare them to the ad from a year ago. First up, olive oil, Star brand. Next up is coffee, okay? We got our Starbucks coffee. This is $8.99. $8.99. I forgot to do the price on the olive oil. It's $12.99 for olive oil. Coconut sugar. Coconut sugar is $4.99. I love coconut sugar. It's a nice healthy alternative-ish. Dog treats. The price of dog treats are killing me. But if you've got a good dog, you gotta give it treats. Here, these are my favorite dog treats because you can fit them in the little Kong balls. These are now $5.49, okay? Those were not that expensive a year ago. Ground beef. I go with Laura's ground beef. $10.99. Finally, jerky. I love me a good jerky. Jack Link's, $12.99. One thing I'll tell you for sure, the price of things that are absolute fucking garbage, like energy drinks and donuts and the shittiest of protein bars like the Power Crunches, those prices haven't changed that much. Do you know why? Because they love poisoning you for cheap, and that will never change.
Holy cow. I just got back from Target. I'm in my car in the parking lot, just decompressing about all the money I spent and the little bit of bags that I have. $180 for some like bananas, peanut butter, frozen waffles, creamer, milk, just like basic things that should not cost this much. And I am like really good at price hunting, finding the best deals, clipping coupons. But I didn't have time today. It was just like, let's run in and grab some things really quick that we need. And yeah, $180 later, I am hurting for what I bought and what I got. It's just outrageous. I think I'm in denial a lot of times about just how high prices are right now in our grocery stores. And I have 2 kids and they eat a lot. And I don't want to feed them like the junk food and the quick processed stuff. But even that has gone up. Like, frozen meals and stuff. It's just outrageous. I just don't know how we're surviving, but we are. I mean, you know, we've been doing it and we will get through it. But I guess when I stay in my little like isolation hub at home and then I just pick what I want online, I'm not actually going into the grocery store and seeing all the prices of everything. It's not so overwhelming. So yeah, maybe I learned a lesson. Like, don't go shopping in the store. Just got to stay with my Instacart and I'll just live in denial forever.
I don't know if it's just me, but I just spent $226 in Sprouts for meats and boberia. And the other day in Publix, like $400 and something on the same thing. I think these prices are literally so crazy, and it's just for my husband and I. I am so curious to know what families are spending on groceries a week or a month, because there's no way people are surviving paying, I don't know, let's just say like $800 plus if you have a big family. I'm in shock and confused, and I feel like every time I go to Publix or any of the grocery stores, it's like so much money.
ABC News just said grocery prices aren't down, frozen orange juice is up 12%. Huh? Who gives a fuck? When's the last time you went to the grocery store dying to get some Minute Maid frozen OJ? I know I have. They also said sirloins were up 20% due to Donald Trump's tariffs, but that's simply not the case. Tell the whole truth. Right now, the United States cattle herd is at its lowest since the 1950s. Where the cows at? It's simple economics. If the supply is low and the demand is high, the prices are gonna go up as well. Simple. Donald Trump's plan isn't just to rebuild our cattle herd. He also announced the $12 billion Farmers Bridge Assistance Program, which helps producers who are hurt by market disruption. He's the GOAT! They also said coffee is up 41% due to Donald Trump's tariffs. That's simply not the only factor here. Use your pink meat. America imports most of the coffee that we buy. In the places that we import from, Brazil and Vietnam, they're experiencing severe droughts. It's dry over there. Because of those droughts, they're sending out less coffee. And once again, when the supply is low and the demand is still high, y'all niggas love coffee, prices are bound to go up. Everybody loves talking about what's going up, but they're not talking about the prices that are going down. Fresh vegetables, fats and oils, the prices of eggs. We're doing great. And gas. I just paid $2.20 for gas earlier. I almost cried. Of course, the focus isn't on the prices that are decreasing because it doesn't make for a great headline. Fake news. Donald Trump is working day in and day out to make America more affordable. What I've said so far is only a sliver of what he's doing. Keep it up, Donald Trump. Ow!
As a Londoner living in the US, this is the greediest country I have ever lived in. So here's a list of things I've had to pay for which make no sense and would send the European mind into absolute psychosis. Let's kick it off strong with number 1. I pay processing fees for my rent. I pay my rent and then I pay $6 to process my rent. Why am I paying you money to take my money? Now the next thing is I didn't realize how expensive healthcare actually is. But one day I had a really bad toothache and I went to the emergency room. First mistake. They scanned my insurance card, put me in a queue, and when I finally get to see a doctor, he looks at my tooth and says, yeah, we can't actually help you. You need to go see a dentist tomorrow morning. I said, cool. 2 weeks go by, I get my bill. $600. Luckily, I had insurance, so I paid $120. But think about this for a second. I paid $120 for a doctor to tell me he can't help me. Now, this one takes me off beyond my imagination. I stayed at the Intercontinental Hotel in Chicago, stayed there for 2 nights for around $200 a night, plus I paid for valet parking. But when I got my bill, the numbers just weren't adding up. On top of all the money and taxes I paid, they still charged me a $32 resort fee. What is a resort fee? And when I'm asking the receptionist what is a resort fee, nobody can answer my question. And what's even worse is it's not a flat fee, it's $32 per night. The next one was kind of annoying. I got my car towed, $350. Pro tip, do not let your car stay there overnight. Now the next one is tip culture, and since living here I've learned to leave a 10% tip. But think about this for a second. Your boss is so greedy that he doesn't pay you not a livable wage, doesn't pay you a survivable wage, then guilt trips us, his customers, into covering the rest of your wage for you. The level of greed you need to have to even think of that concept is literally something only Mr. Krabs would do. Now honestly guys, this list is 25 things long, so if you want to see a part 2 or you like content on finance, make sure to drop me a follow. Peace.
I don't understand how I make $34 an hour.
This video is absolutely gut-wrenching. Go watch her whole video, and she is being so raw in her emotions on her frustrations about the fact that she makes $34 an hour, which isn't a bad wage, and simply can't make ends meet. She talks about the fact that she has to buy a loaf of bread and eat toast with peanut butter and make one loaf of bread last her a whole week. I feel like so many Canadians are struggling beyond words right now, and it's just absolutely gut-wrenching. So she talks about the fact that she owns a home and her mortgage is coming up for renewal. And she's terrified, right? Because interest rates have skyrocketed and she has no idea how she's going to be able to afford the increase in her mortgage payments. So there are a few things that you could do in this situation. Now, I don't know her situation specifically, but if you own a home and you have some equity in your home, there are potential solutions. You can look at doing a refinance, which means using the equity in your home. When you do a refinance, you can take the equity out of your home to pay off other debts. Now, there are a lot of debts out there, say vehicle loans that are at higher interest rates, lines of credit, credit card debt that is at higher interest rates than what our mortgages would be. So overall, you do pay less in interest. And at the same time, you can improve your cash flow. She could also look at extending out her amortization. So for example, if you had 12 years left on your mortgage, you can look at extending it to 25 or 30 years, which will counteract that increase in the interest rates and make your monthly payment more manageable. Now, I know that a lot of people are going to say, I don't want my mortgage to be another 25 or 30 years. And I fully understand that. But when it comes to only being able to eat peanut butter for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with toast, how is that for your health? You know, you do have to consider so many things outside of what might make the best sense. So by extending your amortization out, you can still pay additional money down. So if you were to get to a place where your monthly debt obligations are now manageable, you're probably going to be able to sleep better at night. If you can eat healthy, nutritious food, I mean, that's just going to help your mood and help you get on with every day. So when you do get on top or back on top of things, you can look to pay additional money down on your mortgage every month to get your amortization back down to a point that you're satisfied with. But it will get you through those tough times if need be. The bottom line is there are always options. Instead of feeling so defeated and overwhelmed, you can reach out, contact people, find out what options you have. Sometimes in life, it takes a step back in order to be able to take some steps forward. And that's life. It's not all roses and unicorns, unfortunately. But knowledge is power. And just knowing what your options are, talking to people, you never know what might help you. So if you do own a home and you're feeling the way that this woman is feeling, reach out to a mortgage broker. It doesn't cost you a thing. And they can let you know if there are any options for you. I mean, at least you're trying to do something about it.
To see what the prices are at a grocery store in California. We just left North Carolina and we're in California, and I need to go grab some groceries, and I'm really nervous at how these prices are going to look, so I thought I would bring you guys along with me. Let's go. We need to clean out this car after our 64-hour drive, so we'll probably do that today as well. Grocery store in the middle of nowhere. Okay, 79 cents a pound. I feel like that's not horrible. It's pretty normal. I feel like that's pretty normal. Now we're looking at paper towels, so let's see. I'm gonna get these. They're $17.99. I feel like that's also pretty accurate. No, I feel like maybe that price for a bigger one. I feel like still that's not very bad. So far so good. I am curious to see what the milk and the eggs cost though. So let's go see. Okay, that's kind of crazy. Jeez. I'm gonna look at the milk. Milk is $4. A flat of water as well. So let's see, $7 for a flat of water. There's like, it's like $2, $3. Home, and I got quite a bit of things, and it was only 60 bucks. Like, honestly, wasn't bad at all. The eggs were like $2.99. So that wasn't bad at all. I'm thrilled.
Now after tax, I'm gonna be paying almost $8 for a McDouble meal. And don't say I want a tea, because that's an extra charge too. McDonald's, I'm gonna need you to come to the front of the classroom, because you got some explaining to do. I went to McDonald's the other day to get me a little meal deal. You know, the McDouble, it was $5, but now it's $6. You see it, you see it? The McChicken meal deal is still $5. But why y'all had to go up on my McDouble? McDonald's, it's already expensive out here, right? And some of us can only afford $5 meals. Is this in everyone's area or just my area?
Just randomly, I started thinking about all the food that people like us, that people that were, lower middle class would eat and how expensive it is. And so now I'm going to list 10 foods that we used to eat as poors that rich people are making a ton of money off of, and now we cannot no longer afford. Number 1 is oxtail. Originally, oxtails were given to enslaved Africans and was boiled for hours. Now they are a delicacy and served in many restaurants, not excluding Caribbean restaurants. And now it's $20 to $40 when it used to be $7 per pound. Like I remember that. Number 2 is oyster. In the 1800s, oysters were street food for the working class. They were cheap, they were fast, and they were plentiful. So then over-harvesting and pollution made them rare, flipping them into a luxury item served with ice and champagne. And also, people realized that it's an aphrodisiac and they can make money off of it, and now we cannot no longer afford it as the average working person. Number 3 is lobster, as we all know. We don't even need a backstory. Everyone knows prison food, and then they found out they could make it into something more delectable, and now it's astronomically high. Rice and beans is number 3 or 4. It was a staple for colonized, enslaved, and working class communities. Pork belly / bacon. Pork belly used to be cheap, fatty cut. Pork belly used to be a cheap, fatty cut eaten in rural South and Southern homes. Pork belly used to be cheap and fatty, and it was cut to be eaten in rural and Southern homes. And some chef somewhere, some genius, cut it up and started serving it in gastropubs, and we all know how expensive they are, and now it's expensive as F. Here's one I just found out about. Escargot used to be poor people food. So it says that peasants in France were gathering snails to eat. They were that hungry, and protein was scarce. And then the French nobles adapted it into their daily diet and transforming it into fine dining. One that shocked me that I learned about from a chef friend of mine was bone broth was another one. It was originally like a nothing goes to waste kind of dish, and it was made from stock like bones and other scraps. Now it's like marketed as like this wellness elixir that you have to have in order to heal your body and all this other stuff. Now it's wicked expensive. Like I went to Whole Foods. I know Whole Foods is expensive, but I didn't feel like it should have been that expensive when I seen how much it was. As we know, potatoes was a poor people food. Now it's wicked expensive. And the one that irks me the most is chicken wings, because chicken wings was like a southern slave food or enslaved people food, and we were eating it for years. And remember, you used to get the entire wing, and you would get that with a plate of whatever, whether it was rice or beans. And now the powers that be cut the wing in half, and you could either get a drum or a flat, when you used to get the entire wing and that was the wing, and now you get half of a chicken wing, and that irks me, and it's mad expensive. And another version of chicken that pissed me off that's expensive now is Cheeto chicken. Because Cheeto chicken used to be like a prison food / poor people food, but it was really for prisoners because they didn't have any seasoning. And now, if you try to get Cheeto chicken, it'll cost you like $20, $30. What? Let me know if you want a part 2 of this.
Let's talk about something real quick. So I eat out a lot, right? And I post, burgers, tacos, different things of that nature. We need to talk about the prices of these fucking things real quick. Specifically, the street tacos, like the ones that come like on corn tortillas, and like smash burgers. And somebody please correct me if I'm wrong, but smash burgers, they used to be less expensive than normal burgers because generally they are a smaller burger, right? They smash down the patty. Sometimes it even comes on a smaller bun. Like generally you can put one down in 3 or 4 bites, right? The same thing with like a street taco. They used to be around like $1, $1.50 a taco because they're small. You can put them down in about a bite or 2. There's not too much food on them. How the fuck did we go from that to paying over $2 a taco? Like $2.50, $3 in some places. And the same thing for smash burgers. How the fuck are we paying in between like $13 to like $20 for smash burgers? Sometimes they're a little bit less, and it's like $10 for the burger, but then you still got to get fries. So by the time you get fries and a drink, now your whole meal's in the $20 range. Like, what are we doing out? Like, and I'm asking stupid questions out here because I'm one of the dumbasses paying for this shit, like a lot of us. But like, when is enough enough? It's just fucking crazy.
Please tell me how we are saving money on groceries, because I went to Trader Joe's on Sunday, spent $198 on groceries so that we'd have food for lunches and things like that. And this morning my husband texted me, said he went to Vaughn's to get himself some things that he wanted or needed. Of course, he didn't text me, ask me if I needed anything. It turns out I did need something from Vaughn's. That's another story. I had to go to Vaughn's too. He spent $58 this morning on his extra stuff. We still spent $198 on Sunday. He spent $58 at Vaughn's this morning. I went back and got some other things that we wanted, just like creamer, cheese, a little bit of fruit, chips that my daughter requested, things like that, and I just spent another $47. This week, we have spent $300 almost in groceries. I didn't even get protein. How are we eating? Mind you, Spending money on food is the one thing I do not mind ever spending money on. I do not mind spending money on food ever. That was instilled in me when I was raised. No matter what, we always have money for food. Granted, a lot of that is eating out. And that's the other thing. We eat out a lot too. It's kind of like, dude, how are we supposed to save any money on food? It's incredibly expensive. Bye.
People's real purchasing power is actually getting decreased every year. Despite on the surface level, the economy headline numbers show that it's going up every year. This is why the average American, the average person, is not feeling the growth of the economy. All they're feeling is their groceries and electricity bills getting more and more expensive, and they can afford less and less things, and their salaries and wages are absolutely stagnant, and it's harder and harder to find a job. And there's no politician nowadays out there that's even trying to address these issues. This is making a lot of Americans feel really hopeless.